Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Appreciate all of you taking the time out of your busy schedules to join us today. We are looking forward to today's discussion. I am Christy Druzynski. Everyone calls me Drew. I am an integrated risk management expert, and I'm based in New York City. I will be moderating the webinar today, and I have with me my friends Jagan and Ashwin. Jagan, would you like to introduce yourself?
Thanks, Drew. I'm excited to be here. I'm Jagan Rao. I run product success for risk, SecOps, and ESG based out of Santa Clara. Ashwin, over to you.
Thank you, Jagan. I'm Ashwin Raghavan, Senior Product Success Manager, Risk Solutions, joining from UK. I'm thrilled to be here.
Thank you, Jagan and Ashwin, and welcome everyone to our live on Servicenow session, where we will share with you the value in our integrated risk management solution and help to propel you faster into your maturity journey. Couple of quick housekeeping notes. All lines have been placed on mute. We will be monitoring the Zoom Q&A for questions. Cliff Harris, our Director of Sales, and Teresa Law, our Product Marketing Director from Servicenow, will be helping us to monitor. Thank you so much to Cliff and Teresa. Time allowing, we will also take a few questions live before we close out the webinar today. We do ask that you post your questions to the Zoom Q&A as opposed to the chat, as it helps us to ensure that we have responded to each individual question. This webinar will be recorded, and the on-demand version will be posted to IRM YouTube, IRM community, as well as live on Servicenow. We will also be posting a copy of today's slides. We have a quick poll question to help us understand our audience a little bit better, and you have 40 seconds to respond, so the pressure is on. What does IRM stand for? Is it information risk management, integrated risk management, international relationship management, or IT risk management? And it looks like a lot of the folks on the line are saying integrated risk management, and we have a few that have responded with information risk management. We'll give everyone a few more seconds. All right, integrated risk management is definitely in the lead. All right, thanks everyone for participating in that poll. So the correct answer was integrated risk management. However, if you did answer that question incorrectly, not to worry, we are certainly here today to help. To set the scene for the next 60 minutes, today's focus will be on integrated risk management, what it means from an industry perspective, and how Servicenow has taken industry feedback and has modernized our portfolio of risk products to suit ever-changing market needs. We will talk about the refreshed Next experience and the business value that IRM offers. And lastly, we will provide best practices, tips, and tricks on how to start your journey to IRM. Now, before we dive in, I would like to set the stage with a fun analogy. Raise your hand if you ever had a flip phone. And while I can't say who has their hand raised, I'm confident that a lot of you, like myself, did. Flip phones were awesome. They allowed you the ability to make phone calls when you were not at home, which at the time was revolutionary. This was the first phone that could actually send text messages. Texts were a bit time consuming, having to hit each number multiple times to get to the character that you wanted to use. Most had cameras, allowing you the ability to take some pictures. Storage, however, was minimal. You had to pick and choose wisely which of those photos you wanted to keep. This phone was fit for purpose. However, we didn't actually know what we were missing out on until the first smartphones came out. Much more modern and much more sleek. The user experience on smartphones is unparalleled. There are so many things that you can do on a smartphone that the ability to make phone calls is almost an afterthought. With a large display and a full keyboard for simplified typing, text messages take a millisecond to send. The cameras put most purpose-built cameras to shame. Features you never knew you actually needed, you now can't live without. Imagine a time when you couldn't use your phone for things like checking your work email or video chatting or for navigation. It's really hard to envision. Constant innovation is happening on smartphones with updates to existing applications and new applications being introduced all the time. The flip phone to smartphone analogy is a great way to conceptually compare GRC to IRM. The way that people thought about GRC in the past is history, and IRM is the future. This will resonate more as we continue throughout today's presentation. Quick bit of history on GRC. The term GRC originated from the need for better internal control and governance driven by the compliance requirements associated with SOX. Over time, GRC grew and evolved to become associated with many compliance-driven initiatives. As risk management continued to mature as a discipline, Gartner recognized a need for new thinking. In 2018, Gartner proposed a modern alternative to GRC known as Integrated Risk Management, or IRM. Simply put, IRM is a set of practices and processes supported by a risk-aware culture and enabling technologies. It improves decision-making and performance through an integrated view of how well an organization manages its unique set of risks. To understand the full scope of risk, organizations require a comprehensive view across all business units, risk and compliance functions, as well as key business partners and suppliers. Now, the good news is that ServiceNow embodies all of these characteristics. So let's put Ashwin on the spot. Ashwin, with this industry context in mind, can you help us to understand what IRM means in the context of ServiceNow?
Thanks, Drew. ServiceNow transforms inefficient processes across your extended enterprise by combining security, IT, and risk capabilities into an integrated risk program built on the Now platform. We can turn your manual, siloed, ineffective processes into an automated, actionable, integrated IRM program through continuous control monitoring, prioritization, and automation to respond to business risks in real time. To further understand the importance of IRM, organizational silos have long created a significant challenge to managing risk. Silos come in many shapes and forms. It could be organizational, technology, data, geographical, and so on. Traditional risk, security, and compliance strategies meet specific problems with specific solutions, and that approach is quickly becoming non-viable. Failure to identify and understand interdependencies, a known risk, can have major consequences, resulting in major cost. Also, point solutions and siloed data result in poor decisions that don't protect the business. Limited or lagging visibility into risks and threats do not support board's demand for agility and evolving regulatory requirements. So, how can we ServiceNow help you with IRM? ServiceNow integrated risk management solutions are truly integrated and cohesive across your business landscape, enabling you to make risk-aware decisions built on the latest ServiceNow cloud platform with 3 ones in mind: one platform, one architecture, one data model. Today, IRM is offered catering to multiple different use cases, starting from policy compliance, risk management catering to IT, enterprise, operational to track your risk events, and so on, third line assurance and auditing, regulatory change, operational resilience. To top it all, icing on the cake is ServiceNow IRM offers technology accelerators and starter content to get you started immediately. ServiceNow integrated risk management is comprehensive, offering capabilities across risk domains. The Now platform delivers both top-down and bottom-up risk management, from setting risk appetite to monitoring risk and controls in real time. This integrated view delivers risk intelligence from across the enterprise to make risk-informed decisions. As you elevate on the GRC maturity model, IRM stands as the base to expand into privacy, corporate compliance, ESG management, and reporting. However, vendor risk and business continuity can still be leveraged on the GRC SKU. Next experience. One of the key aspects of IRM and ServiceNow's is ServiceNow's Next Experience. ServiceNow's Next Experience delivers a next generation intuitive, personalized experience to drive productivity, improve engagement, agility, and surface insights across the Now platform. Enhancing user experience has been a key theme for ServiceNow suite of products, and IRM being the early adopters has been a significant breakthrough. Here is an overview of the exclusive list of features, starting from dedicated homepage, centralized task page, common issues landing page, overview and contextual information within a form, 360-degree view of relationship, bird's eye view for a GRC object, which is one of my favorites, breadcrumb navigation, simplified risk assessments and to enhance first-line experience, and many more. Before I walk you through all of this in real time, I would like to quickly touch upon key application level features in IRM. Let's start with Employee Center. Keeping first-line experience in mind, Employee Center portal is designed as a one-stop shop for all your ServiceNow tasks. Could be ID, could be GRC, could be application support, could be incidents that you may have to work on, could be GRC issues task, raising an issue, approving an assessment, and many others. This is a one-stop shop for all your business needs. Moving on. Key capabilities. One of our new additions to the IRM products queue is our prepackaged technology accelerators. It offers reporting templates for SOX, CIS framework, and ISO, aids you in getting faster time to value. This is in addition to the Flow Designer, Integration Hub, Virtual Agents capabilities, which is already available in GRC as a platform offering today. There have been significant additions in policy and compliance management in IRM. Number one, Office 365 integration for policy lifecycle helps you seamlessly compile policies using Microsoft Office, giving you all the features of what a Microsoft Word can offer you today. Issue triage with the latest AI and machine language capabilities. Evidence collection, mobile capabilities for a seamless experience. Continuous control monitoring using indicators are one of our key differentiators. Every application comes with its own dedicated compliance workspace, which you will get to see in the next few minutes of my demo. Moving on to risk management. Advanced risk management is a brand new addition again, which is very powerful, allowing you to configure your own algorithm to calculate risk rating, configure heat maps, configure risk assessment methodologies, have your own factors, have your own ways of arriving at residual rating, risk tolerance, risk coding, and roll-up. Again, first-line experience, simplifying first-line experience to offer them simplified risk assessment was very key. In addition, we do also offer metrics to track your key performance indicator and key risk indicators. In addition, risk identification workflow is a brand new addition. So all in all, advanced risk management is a whole new capability which is being added to our IRM products queue. In addition to that, risk lens integration is an off-the-shelf offering today. New mobile capabilities, dedicated workspace, risk events for operational risk, and dynamic approvals for RCSAs and risk events, and many, many more. Moving on to audit management. Audit management has a brand new workspace, reusable evidence collection, new visual elements as a workspace. Advanced audit capabilities include resource planning with PPM, engagement planning workbench, issue management, task management, trying to go through a whole audit life cycle, starting from field work to issues and so on. Regulatory change management is the new kid in the block, strengthening our IRM products queue. Primarily used for identification of alerts from different sources and content providers. Off the shelf, there is a pre-built integration built with Thomson Reuters. It helps you to triage alerts, conduct impact assessments, establish relationship to policies and controls, identify gaps, and implement changes with added reporting and dashboard capabilities. Again, there's a whole new capability just available within IRM. It does not just stop here. Operational resilience is another new addition to IRM. Enables organizations, critical business services technology, facilities, people, vendors as the different pillars to continue to provide business services in face of adverse operational events. Scenario analysis, business continuity and testing to monitor top risk and controls for the pillars, overdue issues, and the list goes on. Now, let's see them all in action in a quick demo. So starting with the Employee Center. So Employee Center is a one-stop shop, as I was trying to explain, which is precise and concise, showing you the list of tasks that the user has to work on. So irrespective of the subscriptions to ServiceNow, could be risk and compliance, could be security operations, could be IT applications, could be incident management. This interactive screen to business users helps you to identify the tasks that you have to work on, raise issues, raise incident, work on them, approve issues, and so on. So they are logically grouped to give you information on risk and compliance, security operations, and IT, and so on. It also has an inbuilt knowledge-based search capabilities. So all in all, this is a one-stop shop. You could also have the whole page configured, starting from allowing business users to raise a policy exception, could be allowing them to raise an issue, could be allowing them to report a risk event, and so on. Most of these forms have been tailor-made for the first line experience. Some of these fields have been cherry-picked to show up on the first line user experience form. So this is with Employee Portal. Again, there's a lot more to cover. And all in all, as I said, this page is completely configurable depending on your needs. Further moving on. So with the next experience starting San Diego, ServiceNow platform has got a refreshed new UI. The new UI is much more sleek, modern. So the main components of this UI is the header, the body itself, and the filter navigation on the left. So if you start looking through the color schemes and the logical grouping, all of these information which was on the left-hand side on the typical classic UI of ServiceNow has been grouped logically, and that information can now be pinned and unpinned depending on your needs. There's a favorite option to filter down and list and modules and applications that are frequently being used into your favorites section here. There is also a whole new concept of workspace. So workspace, if you will, is a dedicated home page for every persona, starting from a risk analyst, could be from a compliance analyst to a risk manager, to have your own dedicated home screen, trying to cherry pick between different visual elements and have them displayed here, right? All of these workspace are configurable. So the home page is a basic screen as a landing page, which helps you find out key critical information depending on the persona that you are mapped in within the application. So the home screen gives you some visual elements to different charts and dashboards, right? Giving you concise information. So as an example here, you're trying to see the compliance management workspace. To start with, it gives me the compliance score for every authority document within my system. On the right-hand side, it shows me my pending task for me as a user and for my group. And it also shows me the compliance score for my list of policies, the high priority issues open for those policies, scores on entities, my critical entities that I care about as an organization, and some key metrics and hover cards, right? Ongoing control tests, ongoing indicators, ongoing attestations, different elements that you track as an organization, could be issues, could be acknowledgement campaigns, could be regulatory changes, and so on. Again, keep this in mind, all of this is just configurable. Moving on, the home page. In addition to the home page, now we also have a centralized task inbox. So what this means, again, there's a one-stop shop. You can try to relate this to your email inbox. As a user, assuming and given the fact that ServiceNow is a role-driven and task-driven application, as a user, it's very important and critical for me to understand the pending tasks that I as a user have to work upon. Now we have a brand new centralized task page, which helps me pick up and work on the pending tasks that I as a user have to worry about to have this assigned to the next stage of the workflow to get this completed. In addition, we also have a My Group task. This shows me all the tasks that I'm a part of as different groups. And I could also filter on to show up information for different groups. So here as a user, I'm part of four groups here, starting from IT risk managers to team development code reviewers. I could filter down on information to show appropriate tasks show up here. It also shows you all the different various options to filter down on your task list, starting from your different stages of your workflow, to from in progress, to needing review, to new, overdue, and unassigned. Just not this. We also have something called as My Items. My Items just completely gives you an audit trail. It just shows you the whole list of items that were initiated from you as a user. Excuse me. So once, for example, let's take an issue as an example. If a user tries to log in an issue, once the issue has been assigned to a different person, the issue record is still shown here. Excuse me, sorry about that. The issue record is still shown here. So the users can come back to the screen and always pick up on the issue record. Excuse me. And then the watch list page. Any watch list is again a platform capability where every record can also be tagged as a watch list item. And this centralized page gives you the concise view of what those lists are that you've been tracking as a watch list. Sorry about that. Moving on to issues page. On the home screen, we also have a issue landing page, which issue being a module which is cutting across various different applications, starting from policy compliance to risk management to audit. We have a brand new centralized issues page, which shows you open issues, overdue issues, issues that you care about as a user. If you notice on the right-hand side, you also have drill down UI actions, which can take you to those appropriate objects. For example, in the screen, me as a user, I could just go create an open issue or a remediation task, depending on the persona that I've been logged in as. All right. With all of this, the last option that is also shown up on the workspace view is the list that you as a user are allowed to view. ServiceNow being a role-driven application, you get to see modules and lists that you as a user are allowed to view, right? The list view is much more compact, it's much more precise, does not clutter the screen, helping the user to find out information that is really relevant to them. And again, just to reiterate and accentuate on the fact that all this is just configurable for the users. Moving on to compliance workspace. So as I mentioned in the last few slides, compliance workspace has been a whole new addition to IRM. It is just part of our IRM SKU. Just with this, we also have a whole new refreshed view, the way the form looks within ServiceNow. If you try to relate this back to our classic UI with ServiceNow, forms were exhaustive and scrollable. Now the form has been refreshed to make it much more of a wizard approach, if you will, showing up all the details from your left, moving on to different tabs. So if you look at this object here, which says Environmental Control Management Policy, this has been divided into various different tabs, showing you appropriate, concise information. We do also now have a breadcrumb indicator, indicating the user the level and the stage of workflow the user is in. So if you look through this, it clearly explains you that the workflow started off from draft, moved on to review, then to awaiting approval, to published, and then retired. Excuse me, which currently says you're here right here at the publish stage. The overview tab also shows you appropriate information and visual elements for every different form, depending on the object that you've been interacting with. Here in this screen, you get to see the overall compliance, the non-compliant entities on the right, and the non-compliant control objectives here on the right side. Also on the right side, you have contextual information, which shows you the hierarchy, the different compliance scores, and this is all relevant and made intelligent for that particular object. So the information is divided now in meaningful logical format, moving on to details, policy text, policy history, and so on. It just doesn't stop there. One of my favorites has always been the 360-degree view. It is very important and critical to show a bird's eye view for the user for a given object. This is a significant breakthrough and a brand new addition for IRM. The 360-degree widget shows you a complete nuance of the object. It is again interactive. You click on various of these elements, it shows you information appropriately. So here in this example, it clearly explains the policy environmental control management is included within 16 control objective. There are 9 policy exceptions to it, right? And again, as I drill down further, the object and the model changes to show out appropriate information right there. For example, I just clicked on the object, manage visitor identification inside the facility. So now this says that this control objective has got a 1 upstream parent, 2 downstream control objective, linked to 25 controls with 3 policy exceptions, and an entity type with a citation. So all in all, this gives you a complete 360-degree picture of the relationships for a given object, right? So that's amazing. Now, moving on to risk workspace. Risk workspace, again, comes with a loaded capabilities. With advanced risk management that I spoke about, you could have your own risk assessment methodologies configured. The reporting elements also helps you filter down on the risk RAM, what we term as RAM, risk assessment methodology. You could have your own factors set up. You could have your own algorithm set up to look at risk from different lenses, depending on the use case. The home screen remains to be in similar format, like I said, exhaustive with reports and dashboards and charts appropriate for the persona that you've logged in as. All of these charts and reports and visual elements are interactive. Clicking on them takes me to the exhaustive list report, and it takes me back to the home screen. Just not all. The other things remain the same, which is the task page, which is common across all the given different workspaces that we offer today, and the centralized issues page, which is again, as I said, common across different modules. One of the key highlights of the risk that I want to touch upon today here is, the simplified risk assessments. So the simplified risk assessment was a major new addition that we introduced as part of IRM. Making risk assessments simplified was very key. Now we have a brand new wizard approach. So what you see here on my screen is a simplified risk assessment screen, especially for the first line. The risk assessments are contextual in nature. The instructions are shown on the right so that you could rate on your inherent, rate your control environment, and then calculate your residual. You could also make it automated and then go back to your risk response. So this view is much more concise, comprehensive, precise, taking you the kind of a wizard approach. There is many more to talk. So let me take a pause here and go back to Drew and let her go to the next topic. Thank you so much. Back to you, Drew.
Fantastic, Ashwin. This has been so insightful. We certainly appreciate the overview discussion as well as your demonstration. I can't believe how much innovation is happening in IRM. This innovation will drive so many efficiencies for our customers. Now it's time for another poll. We have another set of questions for the audience. Of the many new capabilities that Ashwin spoke to, which feature or features, we made this easier by making this a multiple select question, would primarily drive your decision to move to IRM? And it's interesting, we're seeing a lot of responses for advanced risk, a lot of responses on the next experience. Of course, the policy integration with Office 365 is going to be huge when it comes to making those version control changes to your policies. Also seeing some interest for advanced audit with the PPM integration on our platform, as well as our use case accelerators. And I know we have a number of those now, and we are continuing to add to those within the future. So it looks like advanced risk, though, is going to be our winner. All right. So moving on here. Jagan, you are going to be on the spot next. IRM offers so many great capabilities that Ashwin has walked us through. Feedback that I have received from some of our GRC customers is that they are getting by. A common question that I am asked is, why would I move to IRM when my GRC subscription currently takes care of my organization's business needs? What are your thoughts there?
Thanks, Drew. If you want to future-proof your organization needs in risk and compliance, definitely you need to move to IRM. There are three major advantages. You can join the list of leading companies and customers who are winning with using modern IRM capabilities. Stay ahead of the bleeding edge of risk management and realize improved ROI. Future-proof your organization needs using the features. Let's get into details of each of these areas. The leading companies that are using IRM, we have a long list of customers. We also have proven record of customers achieving substantial results using some of these new capabilities and features. IRM also helps in easier, faster to make risk-informed decisions with all the new configurations, contents, UI, and other automations. IRM also provides new use case accelerators, way to achieve better outcomes. It could be, technology control accelerators, integration with other Servicenow modules, evidence collections, issue triage, better together stories, and so on and so forth. With the evolved data model, there is no change, or it's not a new data model. We enhanced existing data model. That is why your migration, what I would call it as upgrading to IRM, is seamless from GRC. You do not need to reinvent the wheel. Use the installer, install it, it will start working with additional capabilities. IRM also helps to reduce implementation timeline, and also with lot of improved capabilities, you will see that a lot of time is reduced in terms of configuration. When we are talking about future-proofing your organization needs, it also helps in lowering the cost, complexity, and time to migrate to IRM, leverage increased velocity of innovations that is coming only in IRM. And we also have a lot of partners who are building a lot of apps using IRM framework and the data model. If you look at the screen here, the innovation in IRM starting from New York. All this, what you see on the screen starting from New York, is available only in IRM SKU. As you can see, right, all future innovations also will be available only for IRM. So this is the right time for you to think around and migrate to the newer capabilities. IRM also helps customer turn their vision into reality. The four pillars of ServiceNow, right? GRC is embed, connect, and automate with a lot of better together stories like PACE integrations or SecOps integrations. Those are enhanced in IRM. IRM also drives engagement and adoption with all the new UI and user experience that Ashwin has demoed, with a lot of new integration that are available. We also do a lot of innovation within the new platform capabilities, which is available for IRM customers. There are a lot of partners who are building their apps using IRM. Partners also have offering called quick start programs, including our customer outcomes teams. People have quick start programs with improved configuration and capability, which helps in faster time to value.
Okay, I get it. I can see ServiceNow's vision and our strategy. I am certain that IRM will help many more of our customers in maturing their risk programs. Jagan, can you help us to understand what is involved in upgrading? What does the path from GRC to IRM look like? And where do our customers start?
Thanks, Drew. Some of the common questions as what is the migration path? What is the effort involved? What are all the best practices? These are very common questions.
Oh, Jagan, I think you're on mute.
Yeah, are you able to hear me now?
Yeah. No, we can hear you.
Yeah, some of the common questions that we hear are, what's the migration path? What's the effort involved? What are all the best practices? Right? This is very common questions. Migration path, migration is pretty seamless. It's the same database model, same user, same backend, which has enhanced data models with newer UI capabilities. So migration is pretty straightforward, right? You can get faster time to value with a lot of new configurations that are available. Next question is, what is effort involved? We would suggest you to work with either a certified partner, or if you have a COE team, work with them, or with our customer outcomes. The reason is these people have experience. They have done this many number of times. They understand the data model. So it's better to work with a certified team for that. So effort will be depending on, what we have seen is the effort involved for migration and using this new capability is much faster compared to GRC because of the configurations that are available in the UI, configurations that are available in the workspace, configurations that are part of the application itself. Some of the best practices that we would suggest is follow some of the best practice documents that are available with Create, Servicenow Doc Place, align with the product roadmap. We release a lot of new innovations yearly, twice. So align with the roadmap. By the time you start thinking about configuration, we would have built that into the product. Configuration helping rethinking your customization. For example, we have a feature called approver configurators. You don't need to build a new workflow. Some of the modules have this capabilities that are available for you, right? There is no need of building new workflows and things like that. Look at capabilities adding faster time to value, evidence collection, issue triage. These are some of the capabilities which customers have been asking, which is available in IRM. You don't need to do any of the configuration, use it as it is. For example, advanced risk, right? Having different kind of assessment capabilities or scoring algorithms, it's pretty straightforward. It's out of the box, right? Use of Servicenow community and ecosystem. We have a very vibrant Servicenow GRC community. Please register for that. Start using some of the discussions that are happening around that. More importantly, Servicenow Risk BU and sales team members are readily available for you to help answer any of your questions. If you look at the screen, right, the journey of Servicenow customers are at different maturity level, right? If you are to map how enterprises address their GRC requirement, there are 4 levels of maturity: manual, basic, repeatable, managed, and optimized, right? Now, you may be in a different level of journey within your organization. How Servicenow IRM is going to help you? What we suggest is, Ashin, if you can go to the next slide. We suggest you to go through a certified experienced partners who can help in your journey, right? We have customer outcomes teams, we have partners team that can assess your current environment and help you to estimate the effort. It's pretty insignificant compared to GRC for sure. Some of the major advantages of using a certified partner or our customer outcome team or your COE team is they have experience with their previous engagements, which will help you to reduce changes that are required. They have technical expertise who are certified, who understand the data model, who understand the roadmap, which will help you in faster time to value. There are partners and our CO team helps in strategic management, in prioritizing, aligning with Servicenow so that you can realize your dream of GRC. Here are some of the examples, including our customer outcomes teams. We have programs called Quick Start program, which helps you to get faster time to value. These are some of the examples of some partners who have created Quick Start program. There are other partners who are also in the journey of creating this. As I mentioned earlier, we have a large pool of certified global risk partners and our customer outcomes teams who will help you in your IRM journey including gap analysis and other kind of configurations. With IRM, you can reduce a lot of additional configuration work and get back to the box compared to your GRC. Here are a list of customers globally, some of the partners globally who are readily, happy to help if you're, ready to migrate into IRM. Let's also look at our customer outcomes teams, right? Our customer outcome teams creates a lot of collateral in our Now Create portal. They help in migrating or upgrading your GRC to IRM. Here are some of the documents that are available for you and how you can help, how they can help in your journey. There are three types of paths to GRC to IRM, I would suggest, from the configuration point of view. Either you can use our customer outcome teams who will be leading the discussions and migration. The second would be what we call it as Servicenow assurance. You can work with your existing partner and our Servicenow CO team can work as assurance team, or you can directly work with your preferred certified GRC partner who will help you in migrating from your GRC to IRM. Thanks, Drew. Hope that answered your questions.
Thank you so much, Shagan. No, this was perfect. It doesn't seem like the upgrade path requires a heavy lift, especially when we have so many options in helping our customers receive quick time to value with IRM. It also sounds like a lot of the customizations or configurations that a lot of our customers have made to GRC, they will now find out of box within IRM. And so with that said, we have our last poll question for the day. Is risk management a C-level or a strategic objective for your business? And we'll give everyone just a couple of seconds to respond. And it looks like most of our customers or the folks that are on the line are leaning towards yes, which is fantastic. All right, yes is still winning, which is certainly great news, and we appreciate everyone's candid feedback here. Okay, we have a few moments here. Ashwin, if you wouldn't mind going back to that question slide. We have a couple of moments to answer some questions that were sent over the chat live. So Cliff or Teresa, do we have any contenders that we might want to discuss in a live discussion?
Yeah, we've got a few specific ones, but I think a good one to start with is, you've talked a lot about the new capabilities of IRM, or the capabilities of IRM versus GRC. And you talked a little bit about partners, but if someone wanted to begin this process, how would you recommend that they get started? Where would they start?
So, Teresa, thanks for that question. Right, definitely. The first thing is reach out to account executives or risk solution sales. That would be the first step. And as I mentioned earlier, we have a lot of partners who are ready to do a free assessment, or including our customer outcome teams. They can come and assess your existing instance and see that, what's the gap that is there, what features are that are available within the product. So that would be the first step I would suggest. Reach out to your account team and solution sales and work with a certified partner or customer outcome teams.
Okay, I think that is great advice. One of the questions we have here is to Ashwin, providing some insight on the application information process, data, triage. I kind of take that to mean, and I'm thinking, Jagan, you probably just answered it a little bit, is how, would a partner come in and actually help you figure out what applications you need to do something with, what information you have, what data you have, and how to work with you to move that over. And typically when you're upgrading, you don't really need to redo everything, right? It's a lot of it stays in place. Even the configurations that you've done would stay in place.
Absolutely. This is not migration. This is similar to ServiceNow upgrade with additional capabilities. The new UI may look differently, but it's the same data model, same platform. As ServiceNow keeps its promise of upgrade safe, this will be the upgrade similar to that with some additional configurations. It's not a new implementation. So what we have seen customers doing is reducing their, I would say, additional configuration that is done in GRC, which is a real configuration in the product, which is in IRM. That's what I would say. That's what is exercise our partners and customer outcome teams will help you come up with the effort.
Yeah, and I know that you've got another session to help answer questions, but I guess the last question really is here. Have a lot of customers upgraded from GRC to IRM? Is this something that partners in the professional services teams are familiar with?
Definitely, yes. This is nothing new. We are trying to accelerate this journey because a lot of customers started asking features when it is available. So that's why we suggest customer to go, whoever is having GRC SKU, to upgrade to IRM SKU as fast as possible. We have already a lot of customers who are already migrated or upgraded their GRC workflow to IRM, and people are getting a lot of value. We hear a lot of feedback, good feedback from the customer saying that the configuration that used to take some amount of time in GRC is pretty straightforward in IRM. As I mentioned, approver configurations or setting up some of the changes or the creating new or adding additional workspaces and modifying existing workspaces or access management, so on and so forth. There are a lot of customers who are already upgraded to IRM.
Yeah. Okay, I think those are all the main questions. I mean, I know there's Drew another opportunity to ask questions if people think of them.
Thanks,
All right.
Teresa.
Thank you, Teresa, and thank you to Cliff for helping us monitor the Q&A. We certainly appreciate that. Before we close today's webinar, we would like to quickly recap our discussion in 30 seconds or less and talk through some suggested next steps. Today, we covered what GRC and IRM mean from an industry perspective and how ServiceNow has taken industry feedback and has modernized our portfolio of risk products. Ashwin did a fantastic job walking us through the exciting new features available in IRM that are driving efficiencies and adoption for our customers. And lastly, Jagan also did a fantastic job of speaking to best practices, tips and tricks on starting your journey to IRM. We certainly hope that you found today's session useful and that you are all now experts in integrated risk management. In case you still have questions or are interested in learning more, we encourage you to join our office hours in 2 weeks. You can scan the QR code here to register. Office hours will be held on Monday, October 17th. Jagan, Ashwin, and myself will be on the line, as well as a special guest or two, like we had today. Note that this session will not be recorded, so you will need to join the session live. Please come prepared with your questions to provide in the Zoom Q&A, and we will do our best to answer as many questions as we can live. For your reference, in these slides, we have also included links to white papers, videos, recorded demos, and a handful of additional really fantastic resources. Of note, our marketing team posts events at the beginning of every month to the community, so be sure to check back to take full advantage. Thank you all again for your participation. It is much appreciated. We hope that you saw value in our discussion today and are looking forward to our office hours. I believe there is a survey that is following this session, which will ideally open up in your browser after the webinar ends. We hope to hear your feedback to help us to serve you better. So with this, we are signing off and we will speak to everyone in 2 weeks.